Hello, gamers and gentlefolk, and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be your host for the evening, The Sound, and I am happy to be bringing the Heroic Division to you this week, week 3 of the Nexus Gaming Series, and we're taking a look at the highest level of play. We're going to be seeing potential Scrim on Thursday, taking on Inting for Globes in a best-of-3 series. A little bit of background on these two teams. Potential Scrim Thursday originally formed up in Season 13 as Best of Buddies. They've gone by a couple different names since then, but the roster is largely the same core. On the other side, Inting for Globes were able to make it to Grand Finals last season in the Heroic Division, coming second only to Mommy's Little Gamers, who are not competing this season. So potentially the favorites to win the whole series, the Nexus Gaming Series. But of course, there's still a lot of season left before we crown a champion, so we don't have to get too far ahead of ourselves. Speaking of the season, let's take a look at where we are and how. Well, we won't really be able to see how we got there, but we can see where we are in the standings. We've got Inting for Globes reigning supreme with 12 points, potential Scrim Thursday in 4th with 8 points. A lot of teams would potentially be tied, but thanks to all of the tie-breaking rules, we can see that the Thursday Scrim is in fact sitting in 4th place. Worth noting, however, that one of the series that count for both of these teams is due to a withdrawal. So both teams have been awarded 4 points for a series that never is getting played, and potential Scrim Thursday were scheduled to play that match in weeks 1 and 2. So they haven't had an opportunity to accrue the same number of points as Inting for Globes, given the structure of the schedule with bye weeks and all. So both teams undefeated going into this match. I am expecting to see some pretty competitive play between our two teams. We can take a look at our battleground selection. And we'll be headed to Infernal Shrines for Game 1. We had map bans on Braxis Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity for Inting for Globes, where potential Scrim Thursday opted for Alterac and Dragonshire. They also were the ones who won the coin toss. Opting for first pick. And it looks like we've got all of our team members in the lobby. We've had a handful of players call out. Oh, thank you for the follow, Vei. And Kavkavar, it's great to have you, and to everyone who has tuned in. Fantastic to see you. We're looking forward to this match, and it wouldn't be half as fun without everyone tuning in and cheering our two teams on. Thank you for all the follows. Looking like it's mostly folks who are in the lobby, but all the same, it should be a fun series. And it looks like we've got readies on all sides, so we'll be getting into the draft for Infernal Shrines Game 1 in any second here. Cliff, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Alright, so let's get into our draft for Infernal Shrines Game 1. This is a battleground that can really hinge on your ability to control space around the objective pit. So sometimes we see more melee heavy drafts. Not entirely sure if Scrim Thursday or Inting for Globes have preferences for melee assassins, but Kerrigan, of course, always strong on the battleground. First ban from potential Scrim Thursday. We'll see what their read on the meta is here at the top division of the league. We could see a Vala ban. She still one of the chief assassins that people go for. Instead, it's going to be the Diablo ban. One of the more survivable and threatening tanks, and also fantastic on the battleground. Answered immediately by the Johanna ban. And there's Lucio. Excellent. All heroes that excel on the battleground and are, in general, very strong. And there's Orphea. Of course, a target ban onto Killadin on the side of potential Scrim Thursday. So it's going to be first pick Hogger. The easy first choice out of the remaining offlaners, which frees up the first pick Oriel. Given the latest patch, I've been seeing more and more first pick Oriel in games. We'll see if they pair that with a battery or if they want to secure one of their more limited roles. They'll do just that with the Blaze. Blaze is an excellent offlaner to answer back with after the Hogger. He can control that space that we were talking about with all the oil. I would love to see potential Scrim Thursday pick up a healer here. And there's Bob on the Muradin, and that'll be paired with Anduin. Excellent. So potential light bomb delivery in the form of both Hogger and Muradin. Hogger brings an unstoppable delivery with Hortapult. There's a Medivh ban. Excellent. A very powerful hero when piloted successfully, and can't say I would expect anything less out of the heroic division. We'll see how potential Scrim Thursday want to narrow the field for Inting for Globes. They'll take away the Varian. Still looking for a little bit of beef on the front line. Infernal Shrines does work with double support, so we could see something like an Uther main tank if Inting for Globes are into that sort of thing. It's going to be ETC instead. All right. And there's Hanzo for Brandon. Hanzo bringing some pretty decent shrine clear at level 4 with explosive arrows. Last two picks here, both DPS slots for potential Scrim Thursday. This is potentially going to shift the shape of this draft pretty drastically. I believe Killadin also plays a fair bit of Phoenix, so we may see that come out here. And there it is. And there's that melee focus, Maiev, for N. Last pick here for Inting for Globes. This flex pick probably needs a little bit of damage behind it. The Hanzo alone would have a tough time punching through Muradin or Hogger's HP pool. It's going to be Chromie. All right. So let's take a look at these two drafts as we get through the swap phase. For potential Scrim Thursday, I really like the Phoenix Maiev pairing. Maiev being able to clump folks up with her Umbral Bind. Phoenix would definitely benefit from that, given his splashing auto attacks. I guess we have another light bomb delivery in the form of Maiev. And on the other side, they don't have a cleanse, but they do have Bunker and Scarlet Aegis. So they'll probably be protected enough. Chromie Definitely going to help control vision. It's really anyone's guess who's going to take it here for game one. So let's see how our teams pilot these drafts as we set up for game one. We can introduce our teams. Here on the left in blue, we've got Potential Scrim Thursday, Bob on Murden, Shoepuff on Hogger, Ken on Maiev, Killadin on Phoenix, and Computex on Anduin. And to the right in red, we've got Inting for Globes, Brandon on Chromie, Fuzz on ETC, Kav Kivar on Oriole, Albatox on Blaze, and Juan Pablo on Hanzo. Checking in at our level 1 talents, see if we have anything too out of the ordinary. Nothing strange here. We've got a simple geometry build for Juan Pablo. Brandon opting for Time Walker's Pursuit at level 1. There's the first Umbral Bind. Catches onto 2. An interesting interaction with the time stop. Shoepuff getting a nice little boop there. Ken blinks back in onto Brandon. But first wave definitely going in favor of Inting for Globes. Potential Scrim have a little bit more to clean up there. A great slide finding Bob. Buzz now caught on the tough side of the engagement. Kavkivar doesn't have a lot of healing yet. Bob gets away with both of our frontline getaway. Everyone playing on this razor's edge. Computex and Juan Pablo duking it out here. Phenomenal first couple of engagements here. Both teams really knowing their limits and playing each engagement to the hilt. We've got a little bit of interrupt on that rotation top. Between Time Walker's Pursuit, the clocks from Chromie, time traps I suppose, and Sonic Arrow, Inting for Globe have lots of tools for keeping Maiev at bay. She definitely wants to be able to engage from out of vision. Killadin looking to stall the rotation here to bot lane, but Brandon is able to secure it with relative ease. Level 4 is now online for Inting for Globes. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Repeated offense for Kav Kivar, looking to extend the damage and range on, or I guess it's knockback, not range, on the Detainment Strike. Funz has already used Power Slide, Ken in deep, but they are able to shade out to safety. Bob getting a lot of value out of their trait. Shoepuff in on the flank, however. With that, I'm going to assume Potential Scrim Thursday want to get onto the bot camp, but with the objective already announced, they're not going to get that chance. Shoepuff dropping a top wave to make that rotation down. Neither team able to secure the neutral camp, nor were they able to get back to their bruisers. So, bot easies and top hards. Oh, there's the stun onto Killadin. A little bit of an experience lead for Potential Scrim Thursday. But they're really just neck and neck here. Shoepuff has set up their spin. It's going to be tough for Inting for Globes to get them to calm down. But that's a lot of damage onto Shoepuff there. Albatox, oh, on the bot side though. Taken down. Brandon found by Killadin. With that spin lasting as long as it did, Potential Scrim Thursday have already secured 30. They're going to wrap up this objective. First blood going over to them, as well as first objective. It was an engagement on two fronts. Inting for Globes looking to take Shoepuff out of the spin with raw damage, while on the bot side, the rest of Potential Scrim Thursday got onto the Chromie. Funz gets the successful jump of the Punisher, and it is a Mortar Punisher, so it's not too threatening compared to something like a Frozen Punisher here in the early game. A successful defense. There was the jump, immediate pull from Computex. Shoepuff in on the side here once again. a great whip from Kapkivar. Oh my gosh, so much damage. Great tether from Ken. Oh my god, and the resets. Funds is not going to last this engagement, and that's another takedown secured for potential Scrim Thursday. Between, oh my gosh, Brendan lands true with the Sandblast. And with level 8 in their hands, Inting for Globe have unlocked Chromie's Heroic. They've opted for Slowing Sands, another great area control tool. It's going to be very helpful on the Shrine. A little bit of an XP lead, once again, thanks to those hero takedowns on the side of potential Scrim Thursday. But it is still very tight. Neutral easies going over to Inting for Globes here. And they're not going to be able to support this camp. Instead, looking in mid, potentially trying to get the gank onto Hogger. Shoepuff smells the team coming, and so gets out. Funds found a great unstoppable from Shoepuff. Gets them out without any trouble. A fair bit of damage done to the top wall of potential Scrim Thursday. They've already lost their gate, which makes the next objective here in top lane all the more threatening. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher up next. And that's the heroic talent tier for the rest of Inting for Globes. Bob does not land true with the Stormbolt. Ken, very deep, looking for another opportunity for the flank. There's the Dragon's Arrow. The stasis onto Kapkivar. There's the stage dive in. Holy cow, Albatox coming in deep. There's the bunker drop as well. Blink in from Ken, doesn't catch anyone. Oh my gosh, so much damage onto the Maiev. One more auto will do it. Juan Pablo securing that kill. Shoepuff able to escape. Killian rips the Purification Salvo. Funds, if they're not careful, they will make it out. A well-timed power slide gets them out of harm's way and avoids the root. Heroics that we didn't see. None of them. All of them got used. So to read them off to make sure that none of you at home miss them, we've got Avatar, Hortapult, Containment Disc, Purification Salvo, and Light Bomb for the side of potential Scrim Thursday, while Inting for Globes have gone for Stage Dive. Brandon under a lot of trouble and threat. Ken getting a reset there. Bob eating so much damage. There's the Containment Disc onto Brandon once again. Oh my gosh. Ken continues to eat all of this punishment. Shoepuff in over the top, and that Aegis is not going to save the Oriole, unfortunately. Brandon still taking a lot of damage here. There's the stage dive in, immediately caught by the root. Funds is deep behind enemy lines now, and they're in a lot of trouble. ETC probably doesn't make it out of this one. Killian and Bob both chasing the cow down. Brandon and Juan Pablo sieging as best they can from the outside of the shrine, but unfortunately after the Oriole kill at the very beginning and the rough fight for the front line of Inting for Globes, potential Scrim Thursday get an easy pickup on their second objective as well. Brandon has set up the time trap. They're ready to bait the Punisher jump. Looks like they're feeling a little bit threatened with Ken in range on the Maiev to get that pull. There's the Containment Disc onto ETC immediately. Dragon's Arrow catches 3. Funds protected with the Scarlet Aegis. This fort likely will fall. Another jump onto Funds. Stormbolt does not land this time. And top fort goes down in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. Level 13s on both sides now. Let's see. Pretty big power spike for Shoepuff on Hogger now that they've got... Oh my gosh, what a perfect loot horde placement. Yeah, Albatox can't survive this. Funds stage diving in once again. Shoepuff finding another great terrain placement. This time with the Hortipult. Ken over the top with the Light Bomb. Secures the kill onto Capkivar. They're going under mid-fort to clean up Brandon. Bob trying to find Juan Pablo with the jump, but they're able to avoid it. So yeah, all of these takedowns going heavily in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. A huge team fight win for them. Secures that siege camp and, of course, this mid-fort. Calamancy asking about the pull indicator. That is thanks to the observer interface I use, SpazoObs. You can find it by using !OBS in chat. It's a very flexible, very feature-rich observer interface. I recommend it to anyone and everyone. Level 16s in their hands. Potential Scrim Thursday are going to set up here on the bot fort, see if they can't escort another wave in and start taking down some of this fort's HP. Inting for Globes still trailing by about a level and a quarter. It's going to be a long time before they're on even talent tiers once again. Funds does not connect. Another Hortipult in. Oh my gosh, the ETC getting completely wrecked on the backside. There's a Scarlet Aegis, but it's not going to be enough. Albatox rotating in, trying to slow down the siege. There's a great stun onto Bob. They pop the Avatar, but they will fall. Shoepuff trying to get a knock onto Albatox. They still have Bunker available. This has gone extraordinarily well for the side of Inting for Globes. Winning, well, not winning, but going even on a down talent tier fight. Definitely not the expected outcome, and a huge boon for comeback XP. You can see, in spite of having far fewer hero takedowns, about a third of the takedowns. They've got, yeah, actually, it is about a third of the experience as well. Either way, Frozen Punisher here in mid lane. Mid lane, once again, because of that team fight over the mid-easies earlier that Inting for Globes lost so many on, and it cost them their fort, and so they do not have a well to get pre-tapped for this fight. Augur set up with the spin already. They eat a huge scatter arrow. Level 16 Dragon Slayer. Definitely, or not Dragon Slayer, Giant Slayer, doing a lot of burst damage with the percent threat. Ken blinking in onto 2. Funds peels with the power slide. Juan Pablo eats the full purification salvo, and they will fall. Brandon surrounded, as is Capkivar. Funds finds the stage dive onto 2, but it's just a stage dive into a mosh pit. You know, if we were thinking about it like in a concert sort of setting, but not like the heroic, you know what I mean? Because he got hit real hard, which can happen in a mosh pit when you're surrounded. Y'all get it. That was a good and not at all confusing bit of commentary. It's going in the highlight reel. So another decisive team fight win for potential Scrim Thursday. Inting for Globes really having trouble finding their footing here in game 1 on their map pick. Top is also heavily in favor of potential Scrim Thursday with their hard camp and a catapult going against it. Brandon on the Chromie has already headed up to try cleaning that up a little bit. Here's the Punisher jump, successfully baited without taking the stun, but with the shutdown, this fort is not going to last long at all. Ken blinks in, finding Funds once again. The fort aggro, not too much of a threat. Brief 4-level lead here. Shoepuff once again, Hortipult's in, eats the Dragon's Arrow. Funds goes down out of that. The no control from Augur, almost taking down both of the damage. Shoepuff potentially going to fall here, and they will. The core still has full shielding. Albatox falls, and now that the core's shielding is down, I don't think Inting for Globes are going to be able to make it out of this one. This is going to be the game-winning push. One more takedown onto the Chromie just to pad the stats a little bit. But that'll be game 1 in the books in favor of the home team. Potential Scrim Thursday looking phenomenal in game 1. All right. The drafts I thought were going to be more evenly matched, but in the end, the Maiev play from Ken really making the difference in a lot of those engagements. We can take a look at our post-game stats here once it pops up, which I'm sure it will. Any second now. There we go. So, stats. Killadin, lots and lots of damage on their signature Phoenix, but top honors goes to Juan Pablo. Of course, the question becomes, is it effective teamfight damage or more white damage? The takedown count definitely would have me believe that the damage that potential Scrim Thursday were able to secure a bit more meaningful. Shoepuff also participating in a lot of those takedowns, really outpacing Albatox on the experience contribution there. Anything out of the ordinary on our talent picks? Nothing too strange here. A bit of an interesting ETC build, one I'm not accustomed to seeing, with Imposing Presence at 16 and Guitar Hero at level 1. Outside of that, pretty standard stuff. Oriel featuring more prominently in the meta thanks to her recent buffs. Let's head over to our Battleground selection to see where we might head for Game 2. Inting for Globes will get the choice between first pick and Battleground selection. They were unable to do that in Game 1 thanks to the coin toss victory. So Inting for Globes, maybe they feel that first pick is the special sauce that matters most. And if so, that will be a big benefit to them for Game 2. Speaking of, we're going to be headed to Towers of Doom as selected by potential Scrim Thursday. Team's very efficient in getting through these lobbies. I have to applaud them there. The map doesn't lend itself to the same draft that potential Scrim Thursday had. I will say it'll still be plenty powerful on towers, but the Hogger definitely not having quite as large of an impact as on Infernal Shrines. Inting for Globes sticking with their Johanna ban. There's the Lucio ban. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Keeping things the same as last time thus far with the Orphea as well. Last game it was a Diablo ban. We'll see if that is the way that they go for Game 2 as well. They could also go for an Anubarak ban. I've seen a fair number of Anubarak games from Fuzz. Not sure if anything that Inting for Globes showed. I guess the Oriel is the difference maker. First pick Hogger, this time for Inting for Globes. We could see Dahaka picked up here in the first rotation before the nerfs hit. There are nerfs incoming, according to the next PTR patch notes. I don't know that I've updated my !PTR command, so I don't know if I can link those to everyone here. That will be paired with the Anduin. Computex getting some excellent leap of faith this last game. So not surprising to see them reprise the role for game 2. Muradin, and I'd expect a healer here.
I will fight to my last breath.
There's Rhaegar. Alright. So we've got a cleanse, a true cleanse on the side of Inting for Globes this time around, which could be a helpful difference maker. They've still got both of their damage up, so potential Scrim Thursday gonna have to do a little bit of a guessing game, opting for the Junkrat fan, followed by a Stitches response. Immediate snap on the Garrosh, and there's the Medivh, another Kil'jaeden special. And an excellent hero to pair with the Garrosh, giving Garrosh an opportunity to enter from out of vision on his mount. Makes his engage potential all the scarier. Inting for Globes may have to pick relatively safe DPS here. We could see maybe a Falstad if they want to play more of the map. There's the Falstad pick, paired with a Greymane. Alright. Last hero for potential Scrim Thursday. Something that is able to dish out a fair bit of damage, I would think. Vala's still up. Cassia still up. Trying to think of other hypercarry style heroes. It's going to be Tychus instead. Alright. Tychus still plenty strong. And worth noting that Medivh can put out the DPS just as well as some other heroes. Definitely not someone to count out in the damage dealing department. So the Garrosh Medivh pairing for potential Scrim Thursday is extraordinarily threatening. Greymane, I think, is going to have a tough time getting into melee with the CC on the side of potential Scrim Thursday. Tychus, I think, is going to be eating pretty well this game. I think I like potential Scrim Thursday's draft a little bit better, and they could take it in another domination, continuing their streak for the season. We'll see if they can do it, or if Inting for Globes will take us to a Game 3 as we get into Game 2. We can introduce our teams once again. Computex on Anduin, Bob on Tychus, Ken playing Garrosh, Shoopuf on Dahaka, and Kil'jaeden playing Medivh. To the right in red, we've got Inting for Globes, Fuzz playing Muradin, Brandon on Falstad, Juan Pablo on Greymane, Cav Kivar on Rhaegar, and Albatox playing Augur. A root onto Brandon immediately draws the Purge from Cav Kivar. Oh my gosh, Brandon taking so much damage here. Already up to 3-4 stacks. Make it 5 of Master's Touch. And a quick first wave for the side of potential Scrim Thursday. We've got Bob set up on the wave with a crouching Garrosh sneaking Warchief. There's the overpower. A little bit of a B-step there. Ken very pleased with the play they just made, catching the Dwarf Toss. And first blood going over to potential Scrim Thursday once again. On the top side, we've got Shoopuf and Brandon, or I'm sorry, Albatox and Brandon harassing Shoopuf there. Over the wall, Garrosh portals in and back out. Just to remind Inting for Globes that Garrosh can be anywhere when he's got Medivh by his side. Juan Pablo, Dark Flight's in. Cav Kivar taking a lot of damage. There's the Garrosh once again. The Purge onto Fuzz. Do they have the Dwarf Toss? It looks like they're not going to need it. Juan Pablo making it out to safety. Brandon coming down on the flank. fair bit of damage onto Killadin. Fuzz chased down by the root. Kapkivar already out of mana. The pressure that potential Scrim Thursday have been applying really stressing the Rhaegar's mana pool. Up top, Albattox gets the 1v1. Sorry I missed it, but we're able to catch that takedown onto Brandon around mid lane. So potential Scrim Thursday are going to try and take away this Sapper camp. Looks like they're going to do just that. We've got level 4s on both sides now. Anything out of the ordinary. Nothing too strange. Indomitable for Garrosh, classic. Buzz looking for Ken with that Stormbolt. This is where having your global offlaner is a pretty big boon. Checking in, Shoepuff and Albattox kind of duking it out there. Oh, a lot of damage onto Computex here. They're unable to leap of faith themselves. Juan Pablo gonna try and start the channel there. Ken through the portal. Fun's connecting with the Stormbolt. Brandon playing on the bot side of the lane. This middle bush pretty threatening with the potential for a Dahaka dig. Ken taking a lot of damage. A great Bloodthirst gets the health they need, and a timely portal out from Killadin saves the rest of the team. Shoepuff threatening on the backside. Killadin taking a lot of damage. They receive the into the fray from Garrosh. Garrosh has already used his Indomitable. Oh my gosh. On the top side of the fight, it's Tychus who falls. Kapkivar out of mana once again. A Purge will save Falstad. A great Stormbolt. Albattox channeling on the objective. Level 7's in their hands. Inting for Globes off to a much better start than in Game 1. In the lead in experience and core HP. Wizened Duelist at level 7. Interesting. Not what I'm accustomed to seeing. As well as Blood and Thunder. So a cooldown reduction every time the Wolf Bite happens. Shoepuff ganked once again. They'll drop the burrow. I don't know how much essence they have. Looks like they're going to be able to escape thanks to Lurker Strain at level 4. Level 7's on both sides now. Intimidation. Attack speed. Sure. Buzz, very low on mana. A great Stormbolt followed. Oh my gosh, but there's the portal. Followed up by the Indomitable. And that's a takedown. You can hear all of those Raven caws thanks to level 4 Raven Familiar from Killadin. It's a big additional damage boost to everyone who steps through that portal. It's going to give potential Scrim Thursday another opportunity to steal away the bot Sapper camp. Checking in on top side. Shoepuff has to pop the Essence. Albattox continuing to shove this lane in. The Sappers are eliminated, but on the bot side, these Sappers go in. Bite in from Cav. And there's the fly from Brandon. Killadin taking a lot of damage here. They will fall. They've already completed the Master's Touch, so no reset on that quest. Bob getting chased down by Brandon with the barrel roll in. Fuzz gets the micro stun onto... There's a great gust. Oh, but Brandon sits in the fort aggro. Never mind. A great Hortipult in. A 5-hero wipe. Inting for Globes, asserting their dominance with the heroic talent tier advantage. They're going to get a lot of siege done on the bot fort wall for their victory. Medivh not known for his anti-siege prowess. Brandon keeping the fort aggro as long as they can. Buns has to pop the Avatar here. Another stun from Ken. They have just enough mana, but not enough HP. Computex finishing off that kill with an Into the Fray. to secure the last auto attack. Inting for Globes stuck around a little too long, spent a little too many resources there, trying to play their advantage to the hilt. Ken in with the portal once again. Juan Pablo surrounded. There's a fly in from Brandon. Juan Pablo safe. Killadin, however, will go down. Brandon able to barrel roll out just in time. Ken very low, but escapes. Bob got the offensive purge. Kavkivar, one more wolf fight might do it onto the Garrosh. Computex on the top side as well, getting chased down. These fights are all over the place, but it's definitely helping Inting for Globes. Shoepuff still having trouble dealing with Albatox in top lane. Those 2 takedowns, 3 if you count Killadin from earlier, is going to secure the bot fort right as the next objective phase spawns. Shoepuff only able to secure 3 shots while Albatox gets 5, bringing our total HP 28 to 33 in favor of Inting for Globes. They've also got level 13s in their hands already. Bronzebeard Rage, Frequent Flyer. So that's the percent damage for Brandon on Falstad. Another threatening portal, this time with the Light Bomb and Taunt. Kavkivar is the target, but they're able to live thanks to a timely Ancestral Healing. The dig in from Shoepuff here. The drag does not land, however. It's a 5-hero commitment, and they're willing to pop Odin for it. Brandon trying to kite around the portal as best they can. Kavkivar uses the Purge aggressively, and here's the Hortapult in, this time onto Killadin, who's draw the fort aggro. Shoepuff in deep. Juan Pablo and Brandon able to chase down the kill on Shoepuff. Kavkivar very low here. Bob able to get away with sub 1000 HP. In the end, Inting for Globes making the difference here. Computex, oh my gosh! A 1-for-1. Trading the front lines there. It is a difficult matchup to play on both sides, frankly, for both Murden and Garrosh. It's all about holding those cooldowns. And I think, for the most part, Ken has been doing an excellent job in pressuring the Murden. Juan Pablo secures the Sapper camp as we get to the next objective phase. We'll see if Brandon alone is going to take any damage or threat. Kavkivar trying to threaten anyone who would come through that portal. A Rhaegar by themselves not altogether too threatening, but with Murden out of vision, potential Scrim Thursday choose to respect the play. Checking in on mid, Shoepuff does have Brushstalker available once again, but they're down 2 levels here. They've got a lot of experience that they need to catch up on. Level 13, we see Bob has opted for Spray and Pray. Alpha Killer. Oh my gosh, there's the toss taunt. Oh my lord! Ken falling low. 1-for-1. Healer for tank. Fun's chasing. Of course, this is the benefit of a double support kill, and able to do a little bit to mitigate the damage from Inting for Globes. A decisive portal engage once again for potential Scrim Thursday, but trading 1-for-1 is definitely not the outcome they would have wanted. It's still very beneficial for them as they trail in experience. So it's still a net win. A great engagement. Juan Pablo and Fuzz chase down Computex. The Stormbolt and Cursed Bullet landing almost simultaneously. Potential Scrim Thursday have done a great job peppering down this bottom fort, but with the objective spawning now on the top side of the battleground, I don't know that they're going to be able to fight through it. Juan Pablo ripping through that camp extraordinarily fast thanks to Unfettered Assault at 13. And we've got an even talent tier. Bob trying to finish off the fort. They'll do just that. No one contesting Brandon on the bot side or Albatox on the top side. Potential Scrim Thursday down to 5 core HP. A really threatening position for them, especially with those sappers. They had to take care of them. Ken, oh my gosh, there's the stun. A great Hortipult in. The pull from Computex. And there's the bite in with the root. Kavkivar plays it a little too fast and loose here, and it's going to cost them big. Rhaegar goes down again. Shoepuff gets the isolation on the right side. Fun's isolated on the left. 3 takedowns for potential Scrim Thursday. Rhaegar getting a little too excited at the thrill of the hunt, fighting in there and drawing a lot of commitment from the rest of Inting for Globes. Of course, Kavkivar has kind of built into that with their level 7. It incentivizes those wolf bites. Ken is stealing away the camp all by themselves, while the rest of potential Scrim Thursday take care of boss in top. Getting that 4-shot threat off the battleground definitely allows them to breathe a little easier while they've only got 5 HP. Ken, once again, portaled in. There's the ground shaker. Brandon able to stop any follow-up with a gust. The fort will still fall. Leyline Seal catches Kavkivar, but it's a little too far outside of the engagement range for potential Scrim Thursday. Next objective, spawning in bot lane. It's a single altar shrine bell tower. Altar. And the keeps are called bell towers. With no willingness to contest the objective, Inting for Globe instead try to get the gank. Kavkivar gets rotated on. They'll self-ancestral for the save. Albatox in deep here. Killadin able to protect. Oh, another great jump stun, this time onto Killadin. That's a takedown for the Medivh. Tossed in onto Albatox. The keep doing work here. Kavkivar has drawn the aggro as well. In the end, it's 2-for-1 in favor of Inting for Globes. Fun's catching a sloppy rotation from Ken here. I don't think Garrosh makes it out of this one alive. No chance. And those takedowns bring the experience back to neck and neck. A lot more structure HP, or structure experience on the side of potential Scrim Thursday. That's thanks to the structures on Towers of Doom still giving you a chunk XP. Where are we at? 28 stacks on the Wizen to-do list. So Juan Pablo is hitting like an absolute truck at this point, especially with Alpha Killer. Next objective spawning on the top side. They've got 5 bell towers in their control, so Inting for Globes could go for lethal here, especially with Juan Pablo working on the bot bell tower, trading it for mid. Still keeps the count at 5 shots for Inting for Globes. Level 20s on both sides. Potential Scrim Thursday have to play this aggressively, and we've got a late rotation in from the Garrosh. Albatox starts the channel. Juan Pablo in onto the back line here. Computex taking a lot of damage, as is Bob. There's the Ancestral. It's a double Ancestral proc. Bob immediately falls. Shoepuff digs into the back line. Ken falling low here. Will fall. Juan Pablo continuing to chase Computex, the next threat, and that's it. Brandon gets the channel, and that'll be it for Game 2. Inting for Globes take it. GG and well played. This time for the away team. At first, it seemed like it was going to heavily favor potential Scrim Thursday once again. The Garrosh Medivh getting lots of takedowns in the early going. But Inting for Globes able to turn things around once they had their heroics. Also, I mean, Juan Pablo got stacked. Will We'll say it. That matters. A lot of people will poo-poo Wizened Duelist because it's a quote-unquote win more talent, but sometimes it makes you win more, and that's pretty good. We can see all the damage that they do, up to 73,000. Alatox on Hogger also doing a great job in the offlane, getting that solo kill on Shoepuff in the early game, helping Inting for Globes keep things tight despite some takedowns going in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. Builds nothing out of the ordinary. Not as many Leyline Seals as I would have expected after Temporal Flux came online at level 16, giving a lot of cooldown reduction. Tooth and Claw for Juan Pablo at level 20, rather than Hunter's Blunderbuss, which is a little bit more common. And Albatox going for Dense Dynamite? What is that? Kablooey at level 16, as opposed to Headbanger, which, once again, is a little bit more meta, so to say. Alright, let's take another look at our Battleground selection here. Update the scoreboard first. And then we can head on over. So first pick has mattered quite a bit. We'll see if potential Scrim Thursday opt for first pick. They did when they won the coin flip. I'm assuming they have again. I expect that we will continue the bans that we've seen. They've been pretty consistent, and we're getting ready for Tomb of the Spider Queen Game 3, as selected by Inting for Globes. So all three Battlegrounds definitely favoring these tight team fights and tight rotations. Potential Scrim Thursday, if they're able to get the Garrosh again, especially if paired with the Medivh, could be really threatening on Tomb. The rotational play that Medivh allows for, and how funky and off-axis you can force the game, can be a huge benefit. Of course, Medivh does not bring a lot of wave clear, so that is the downside. And this Battleground really, really favors heavy wave clear compositions. Lucio first ban. It hasn't hurt them yet. Potential Scrim Thursday do not want Kavkivar to be able to play the melody. There's the Hogger ban. The most contested offlaner in this series. I'm a little surprised. There's the Oriole ban once again, inviting Cav to once again play the Rhaegar if they so chose. There's the Johanna first pick. It's the first time, I believe, it's gotten through. So, straight to Joe Jail for Bob. Next two picks here for Inting for Globes. We could see another Chromie Hanzo draft out of them. Diablo let through, and Blaze. So both frontliners for Inting for Globes picked up. Albatox opted for Blaze in game 1 as well. We'll see if the rest of Inting for Globes can make a bigger difference. The Diablo pickup is a big boon for their draft, I will say. And there's the Maiev Anduin combo. It was extraordinarily potent on Infernal Shrines. I expect it will be just as threatening here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Inting for globes, likely to ban out an offlaner here. I'd guess Leoric. It's going to be Tychus instead. I can respect it. Another source of percent damage. Blaze does have tools to help his team with the Entomb in the form of Bunker, but does struggle a fair bit in lane. I expect a healer ban here. They've already banned out 2 and picked 1. The potential Scrim Thursday likely to narrow that field even more. It's probably a Rhaegar ban. Yeah, there's the Rhaegar ban. All right, next 2 picks. They likely pick a healer here, although they could hold it. If they hold the healer, they might be able to flex it into something truly weird. Phoenix picked away, and they will pick up Brightwing in this slot as well. Okay, so with the Maiev pickup, I don't think you can get a Medivh draft going. It also doesn't necessarily pair super well with Johanna. So likely we'll see Ken picking something with a little bit of ranged wave clear to assist in de-pushing the objective. Junkrat wouldn't go amiss in this draft, I wouldn't think. Leoric and Sylvanas instead. Alrighty. Last pick for Brandon. Some long-range objective poke to stall turn-ins would be helpful. We saw Chromie in game 1. Isn't bad for the battleground here either, though it does struggle into the Maiev, as we saw on Infernal Shrines.
Here we go again.
But they're willing to give it another shot here as we get set for Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's take a look at these drafts. Okie doke. So a little bit of percent damage on the side of potential Scrim Thursday to deal with the meaty health pools of Inting for Globes. Leoric with his baseline Drain Hope, and Sylvanas able to tech into it at level 1. Maiev also gets percent damage, I think, at 16. On the other side, I wonder how well Phoenix is going to be able to trade into Sylv Maiev. Maiev potentially able to interrupt all of Phoenix's teleports. Actually, I'm not sure how that interaction works between Umbral Bind and Warp. Well, we're gonna find out together, folks, as we get into third game of our series for all the marbles, as they say. Introducing our teams for the last time. Potential Scrim Thursday. Bob on Johanna, Shoepuff on Leoric, Computex playing Anduin, Killadin on Sylvanas, and Ken playing Maiev. To the right in red, Inting for Globes. We've got Brandon on Chromie, Fuzz on Diablo, Albatox on Blaze, Juan Pablo on Phoenix, and Cav Kivar on the Brightwing. Laws of Hope at level 1. Surprised. We've also gone for Unfurling Shadows at level 1. So Killadin not opting for the percent damage talent. Potential to put out even more damage, but not to Diablo with a Spell Shield. Soul Shield at level 1 is going to be hugely beneficial. Ken polymorph and flip. Albatox lands a stun onto Bob here. HP trades heavily favoring the side of potential Scrim Thursday, but that's because Shoepuff got down to bot lane a little early to take care of business. Juan Pablo heads down, maybe looking for a lazy Leoric rotation. Checking in on top. Bob getting sieged down by the Chromie. The autos from Cav, Kivar, and Brandon almost sealing the deal there. Ken able to solo the Bruiser camp here thanks to their level 1 Naisha's Memento. And it's a very early Bruiser Camp grab. Juan Pablo continuing to threaten Shoe Puff here. Playing the uneven lane pressure definitely helps Albatox deal with a losing matchup. Bob's, as low as they are, makes it difficult to push too far. Fun's going in while Juan Pablo goes out. Ken gets the tether onto 2. Buzz under a lot of pressure here. They've already used the Soul Shield. Killidan trying to chase down. Albatox lands the Jet Propulsion onto 3, pops the Pyromania as well. Everyone able to make it out alive. Still bloodless in this third game. Killidan getting chased down by Juan Pablo. They will get out with the Haunting Wave. Alright, level 4s on both sides now. We've got Souls to the Flame for Diablo. So, a typical W pairing. There's the Overpower into Shadow Charge. Polymorph follow-up from Kavkivar, but now Brightwing without Blink Heal will pay the iron price. First Blood going over to potential Scrim Thursday once again. With that, they'll send both Ken and Killidan down to bot lane. Try and apply some Black Arrows pressure here while Maiev gets through the siege camp. Juan Pablo has made the rotation as well, however. I expect Inting for Globes knows what's happening. Yeah, Albatox confirming that with the oil spill. Killidan up to 41 stacks already. Stacking quite well. Over 10 a minute. Shoepuff gets a big stun there. Oh my gosh, Killidan stayed in a little too long there. Shoepuff trying to finish off these kills. Juan Pablo, oh my gosh, makes it out with just a sliver of HP. Siege Giant's already getting through the bottom tower. They're working on the gate now. Ken still had the shade to escape to. Once again, teams neck and neck on experience. Funds continues to find these overpowered Shadow Charge combos, but now they're kind of stuck in a weird spot. Both teams vying for turn in here. Level 7s on both sides. Chromie able to do a fair bit of safe objective poke, but they're unable to find the rest of potential Scrim Thursday. Fun's now very deep in the thick of things. Juan Pablo gets the rotation on the flank onto Killidan and Ken. One more auto attack will do it for the Maiev. They go down, dropping 7 gems. Shoepuff and Bob escape out of the bot side, but Funz has something to say about it, and they'll find another takedown onto Leoric this time. Leoric able to drop off their gems before visiting the Hall of Storms. I guess Leoric never visits the Hall of Storms, but... So they're not going to suffer too much of an economy hit on the side of potential Scrim Thursday. Oh my gosh, unless Bob dies here, first turn in going in favor of Inting for Globes. Fun's being a menace in every single one of these rotations, threatening Johanna this time. They'll pop the Soul Shield. They're at full souls already, so it's 75 spell armor. So much spell armor. And it's a 3-hero commitment to the top side with Brandon trying to slow potential Scrim Thursday down here in mid lane. There's the blink in from Ken. Fun's pulled under the fort wall once again. The tower damage a bit too much for the Lord of Terror to sustain. Of course, the heavy 4-hero commitment to bot side means potential Scrim Thursday lose their top fort wall. A relatively successful push for Inting for Globes, getting both top and bottom fort wall. Heroics now online for Inting for Globes for all 5 of their heroes, not just Chromie. Lightning Breath, Bunker Drop, Purification Salvo, and Blink Heal. Shoopuf continuing to try and get these gems turned in, even while down their heroic talent here. Juan Pablo picking up the reciprocal siege camp. Shoopuf looking for an Entomb, but Brandon able to just narrowly escape. Killadin haunting waves their way out. Bob will get the turn in on the top side, securing the next objective push for potential Scrim Thursday. It's a 5-hero commitment on both sides. I say that as Brandon steals away to the top lane, trying to push out that wave and minimize the push threat from potential Scrim Thursday. Both bot wave and top wave well prepped. There's the mind control onto Juan Pablo, but Cav gets the cleanse. Phase shift onto Funds. Albatox threatening on the side, while Funds on the top side. Shadow charges in, and here's the Lightning Breath. I guess just for the Unstoppable. I don't think they've got... Yeah, they just used their spell shield. Juan Pablo... Oh my gosh! Another takedown, trading side for side. A great Light Bomb from Computex will take down Brandon. No damage left to stop this push. Kavkivar chased down by Shoopuf. 20 gems lost from the Brightwing. A great use of Wraithwalk to get aggressive on the far side of the fort. That'll secure mid-fort for potential Scrim Thursday, and a heavy wave in top will take care of the top fort as well. Absolutely huge. Bob trying to get a little bit of vision over the wall. In the end, that was a much more successful first objective for potential Scrim Thursday than can be said for Inting for Globes. They've got enough gems for another turn-in. We'll see if they're able to secure them back-to-back. Shoopuf setting up with 22 in their pockets. They get the turn-in before the oil spill gets lit. All right. Killadin has to turn in. There's the Entomb onto Diablo. They pop the spell shield. They're going to be able to shadow charge their way out. Kavkivar blinks away to safety. No Entomb to catch them. Shoopuf and Bob running deep here. Kavkivar finds another blink, but Ken is on the back side here, looking for those Shadow Dagger, not Shadow Dagger, that's the other hero. Fan of Knives resets. Purification Salvo didn't go off. Short cooldown. Didn't see what caused it. Oh my gosh, Leo might fall. They're going to make it out alive. There's the Purification Salvo follow-up. It looked like a tickle. I don't know if that mattered at all. Level 13s on both sides, with potential Scrim Thursday securing their second objective. We've got Roar from Bob on the Johanna, continuing to pick talents that we don't see as frequently, but with how much Bob has been double soaking, not too surprising that they opted for Laws of Hope. You can see up to 32 globes. That's a big ol' heal. What else? 13 is armor for Ken on the Fan of Knives. Up to 1 stack on pin down thus far. There's the Shadow Charge onto Killadin, but it doesn't land on the wall. A little bit of miscommunication layers the ceiling. Oh my god, Juan Pablo makes it out alive. Okay, both top and mid lane got cleaned up. That's full souls for Fuzz. They'll eat the root. Ken connects with another Umbral Bind. Albatox has to drop the bunker for safety. Fuzz and Albatox both getting into it. Shoopuf falling low here, but they're going to back up to safety. Bob stuck around a little too long. Fuzz deep on the flank, looking for Killadin. There's a big slow with the Lightning Breath. Albatox gets the 2-hero jet propulsion. Shoopuf slowing them down as much as they can. Mind Control lands onto Albatox, but once again, a timely soothing mist from Kavkivar cleanses that silence. Bob overstaying their welcome just a little too long on the bot fort wall. Cost them pretty big. Fun's able to chase the rest of potential Scrim Thursday down, while Albatox sealed their fate with a huge jet propulsion. Those are well-needed takedowns, or extraordinarily needed takedowns. Either way, Inting for Globes happy to be back in this, from an experience standpoint, in the lead, in fact, with level 16s now. About a half level away for the side of potential Scrim Thursday. Mind control onto Brandon. There's the follow-up stun. They use the timeout, so it interrupts the phase shift. Bunker drop for a little bit of safety in siege. They've got spell armor from the siege, or the bruiser camp as well. This is a 5 hero commitment to mid lane. They'd love to get some takedowns out of this. Bob still has their iron skin available, but they're not going to be able to pop it. They played a little too greedy with that cooldown, saving it for too long. Albatox, Funds, and Capkivar keeping a tight CC chain. Shoepuff potentially very threatening with the Entomb now that Bunker is on cooldown. But none of potential Scrim Thursday want to back their Leoric up. Shoepuff still staying alive with a lot of damage on, or healing from their skeletal swing. There's the Entomb. Funds escapes with a Shadow Charge. Brandon out of mana and almost out of HP, but they're able to escape. Another stun onto Shoepuff. Leoric has done as much as they can to prevent the siege with their damage reduction, but it's not going to be enough. There's the Blessed Shield, lands onto 2. Fun's getting chased down here. Killadin laying into them with the autos and the Shadow Daggers. Top keep goes down to a massive wave as Inting for Globes makes a full retreat. Shoepuff continuing to apply pressure even from the grave, thanks to those slows. First keep of the game goes to Inting for Globes. Both teams before this series had only participated in dominations, so this is already outside of the norm, so to say. A heavy rotation to top after we see, oh no, Juan Pablo showing on bot lane. No care for defending the boss. Of course, they could use this opportunity to get gems turned in if they wanted. Albatox looking to scout it out. In the end, it's a relatively easy grab. Shoepuff lands. Oh my gosh, and the perfect containment disc. Juan Pablo in a lot of trouble. They are gonna fall. The containment disc stopping the bunker save. Shoepuff spooking in, getting another big slow. Boss in top lane getting busy while the objective spawns for Inting for Globes. They're going to chase down Fuzz here. I'm assuming Diablo doesn't make it out alive here. That'd be kind of unconscionable. I'm far more interested in this kill than what's going on in top keep. Yeah, this will reset souls. Speaking of top keep, how'd boss do? Got through a tower. That's not so bad. A basically free clear of Inting for Globes objective. Potential Scrim Thursday still feeling very comfortable, especially with their experience lead. You can see that's thanks largely to their heavy mercenary experience lead. Ken still has a fort to retreat to. Brandon getting some of the Dragon's Breath landed. A mind control from out of vision connects onto Albatox. I imagine we'll be seeing Dark Lady's Call, but I don't think the cooldown reduction from that talent applies if mind control's already on cooldown. Yeah, it does not. We've also got Buried Alive, Radiating Faith, Inner Fire. Nothing out of the ordinary. They're looking to get aggressive here with the level 20s. Shoepuff trying to scout everyone out with the spook in. They're isolated here. Once again, it's a fight on two fronts. Leoric still has the Wraithwalk available thanks to their level 13 talent. It's a very long, unstoppable. Unfortunately, they're still in the middle of 5 heroes when they come out of it. So that's another death for Leoric. They'll continue to get trait value. Potential Scrim Thursday are ahead towards the next objectives turn in. Albatox and friends will finish off the bot fort, evening up the catapult pressure in bot lane. You can see Funds scouting the hards. Leoric will be up soon. Funds trying to dissuade potential Scrim Thursday from coming in. We heard the Dark Lady's call go off. Killadin just fishing with that heroic now. That's on a 15-second cooldown, I believe, which is way too low, if anyone's asking me. Which they're not, because if anyone was asking me, we wouldn't be nerfing Dahaka. What a great stun! Bob finds the stun onto the Chromie. Shoepuff doesn't connect with Very Alive, however. Storm Brandon still under a lot of threat. They've already used the time stop. They get into the bunker, but they trade Maev for Chromie. Shoepuff falling low. Funds trying to apply a lot of pressure under the keep. They'll take down Leoric. They'll take down Diablo. Diablo only at 90 souls, so they won't be respawning. Leoric going to be back a little bit sooner than the Diablo. There's the stun and mind control both used. Phoenix still alive. Juan Pablo getting a lot of damage onto Killadin here. How many stacks is Killadin up to? 250. Holy cow, that's a lot of W stacks. Bob gets pulled. The Leap of Faith is good, and the mind control lands onto Juan Pablo. Killadin chasing down Albatox, and Kavkivar finish off the Sylve. Can Shoepuff turn this around? Another huge Blessed Shield followed up by the Light Bomb. Another 2 takedowns. Potential Scrim Thursday and Inting for Globes throwing haymakers back and forth. These 4 catapults on top lane will not get through the core shielding. So the takedowns allow Potential Scrim Thursday to stabilize without losing really any serious structure HP. When his boss up? Boss is up in the next 15 seconds. With that knowledge, Brandon immediately starts on the siege camp. They'd love to get pressure in an opposite lane. Potential Scrim Thursdays held on to all of their gems for the most part too, so they're still very close to the next objective turn-in. And with the glow on the gem count on the bottom, that tells us that Potential Scrim Thursday are looking for the boss and objective push here in top lane. On the bot side, Brandon continuing to escort those siege giants up. I don't know if that's going to demand a response from Potential Scrim Thursday. If so, we'd likely see Shoepuff break off to take care of business. Funds stepping out as far as they can, trying to meet the boss in lane. Rocking that stun, it's a way to slow down the boss's progress. Level 20s on both sides. I don't know if I showed it to everyone before, but we'll see it now. The containment disc does not land. Still very healthy boss. Souls completed, so we get 2 Diablos in this fight. Oh my gosh, the silence onto 2! Diablo tries to get the blink in, but Maev is doing so much damage. Shoepuff falling very low. They got Computex on the backside, and there's the kill onto Maev. Holy cow, Killadin falling low as well. Juan Pablo and Brandon both still alive, so the damage, the anti-siege, still here for Inting for Globes. This is going to be a successful defense. I don't think this Webweaver even scratches the core. What looked like an absolute massive engagement from Shoepuff, catching both Albatox and Brandon in Tomb. Importantly, shutting down the major save tool in the form of Bunker. And even so, Potential Scrim Thursday unable to finish off the takedowns before Fuzz and friends got aggressive on the backside of the fight. Of course, in those grouped up engagements, Brandon on Chromie, especially with their level 18 Piercing Sands, it is a huge amount of damage to just pour into a clumped up team. Potential Scrim Thursday do end up spending a little bit more time holding hands thanks to the Maiev draft. 40 gems in the pockets of Inting for Globes, so they're still 25 away from their next turn-in. This could be a long-haul objective. Potential Scrim Thursday really betting it all on that objective push. There's the mind control onto Diablo. They still have full souls, so they'll pop their 75 spell shield and walk out just fine. They did get the phase shift from Kafkivar as well. Fuzz continuing to use the minions to look for these engagements. Bunker finds Chromie once again, but this time the bunker is... Oh my god, Juan Pablo, what are you doing up there, bud? He's dead! Oh my gosh, but then Computex stranded, Albatox falling low, Killidan and Ken raining in damage, Brandon falling low here. It cost him a lot of HP. Killidan gets another mind control, and Ken finishes off the takedown. Kavkivar, they'll blink away to safety. They're still holding 15 gems. Oh, they're just chasing these two down. This is rough. Can they survive? I don't think so. Funz is just trying to buy room for their Brightwing. Yeah, okay, Brightwing's going to be able to hearth out to safety. Fun's just trying to stall as long as possible. With their shortened respawn timer, there's no concern over staggering the takedowns. Since Diablo's back before Blaze. Black arrows. Oh my gosh. Can they kill Diablo off this? They still have Dark Lady's Call. They're not going to try and rip it. Ken looking for the engagement. Gets Shadow Charged. Armor Shred from Critterize at level 16. Bob uses the Iron Skin to escape without any trouble. Alright. Structurally, Inting for Globes a little bit on the back foot with that mid-keep takedown. Potential Scrim Thursday have set themselves up for a tough, slow game. Shoepuff looking for another Leoric engagement. Looking for Juan Pablo for sure. They land the Entomb. Oh my gosh, Juan Pablo's making it for the bunker. They get there in time. Brandon times out. The bunker falling low. A huge purification salvo. Ken with 15 armor. Are they going to be able to survive? Phoenix caught in the containment disc. Fun's continuing to get too much healing in the back thanks to W build. Juan Pablo very low. Shoepuff will be the first to fall, however. And Fun's makes it out alive. Only at 63 souls, so it would have been a full respawn. And they go for the aggressive flank. They're alone. That Umbral Bind. Okay, they're safe thanks to the phase shift in from Kavkivar. Shoepuff continuing to get really good value out of Buried Alive, but even so, Killidan going fishing. Once again, the root will cover their retreat. Containment Disc catching Diablo. They get 22 of their gems turned in. Brightwing happy to unload those. And with only Leoric getting taken down, Potential Scrim Thursday are back in fighting form much quicker than they would otherwise be. Entomb off cooldown once again. There's the bunker drop, but oh no, the mind control connects. Timeout isn't there. Fun's in deep. They don't have full souls yet. Shoepuff brings the light bomb a little too far away, but I think this Diablo's going to die. A lot of damage reduction coming out from the E-build. Fun's falling low. Kavkivar as well. Albatox still healthy in the backline. Purification Salvo hits big. Bob under a lot of threat. They'll complete subdue, however. I don't know if it's worth at this point in the game. Ken gets chased down by Juan Pablo. Albattox cannot connect with the jet propulsion. Computex drops the spray. There's the root. Polymorph slows. Fun's taking a lot of damage from Killadin. There's the takedown onto Anduin. Leoric will be up in 15 seconds, and Sylvanas still the best anti-siege tools. This is likely going to be the march to core for Inting for Globes, but it's going to be a tough one nonetheless. They've bought a lot of time here. Fun's trying to get the takedown onto Shoepuff, but Killadin with 372 stacks, really dissuading Inting for Globes for getting too aggressive on the core there. They're going to play it safe and fall back to boss. They'll be able to rip through this very quickly. And so now they have the potential for the boss turn-in push. Shoepuff positioning around the turn-in. Scouts safely with the Wraith Walk. Bot side, there's a catapult on bot keep. That's going to be a bummer for Inting for Globes if they don't win here. They're unable to zone Inting for Globes from the turn-in. Ken and Killadin already putting a lot of damage onto the boss before it reaches the keep wall. Juan Pablo gets the slow onto Bob. That's a lot of damage onto Johanna. We've got Funds coming in from the mid flank. They get dismounted by the keep, and now they're kind of caught alone with the root. They're looking for the light bomb. It doesn't connect, however. Purification Salvo lands mind control onto Kavkivar. They pop the Soothing Mist, but Brightwing will go down. Juan Pablo in trouble here. In Unconquered Spirit will get them out alive. Ken under threat. The core taking a lot of damage here. Down below 50% already. Boss still whacking away at it. Catapults aren't connected yet, however, and we've already lost 3 from Inting for Globes. Fun's trying to finish off the core, but they're not going to do it. Will the Webweaver seal the deal? The last 14%? No. Potential Scrim Thursday make the successful defense. This is a true slobber knocker of a game. Holy cannoli. Inting for Globes trying to spend it all for that last push onto the core. Potential Scrim Thursday succeeding there will prevent the inevitable, what seemingly inevitable end. The cute little B-step for Funds before finishing off the core, and that'll be another win for Potential Scrim Thursday, taking down the thus far undefeated Inting for Globes. It is a team to watch out for. They commit all the heroics, and that's going to do it for Game 5. GG, well played. A huge pickup for Potential Scrim Thursday. And there you have it. That's the series. What an absolute slog, but really well played by the home team. Potential Scrim Thursday able to save the core at 14%. An absolute nail-biter finish. Sylvanas up to 183,000 damage. 400 stacks Sylvanas is too much. I agree, King Andrew. That is, in fact, too many stacks. I wish we could see them here. Unfortunately, we cannot. But understand that it was too many stacks. We can see if we can wrangle anyone for a post-game interview here as we get a look at the post-season, or I'm sorry, post-series. In the end, both teams looking very evenly matched. They were undefeated going into the series, and so it was a close contest. Exciting to see what I expect to be two of the stronger teams in the division going up against one another here early in the season. All right. potential scrim. See if anyone can join us for an interview. In the end, wait a second. Red won. I'm so bad at this. Everyone knows what I don't. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, no. Please, please, everyone. Don't be too harsh. I'm so bad. Figured it out. Thank you to everyone in chat for correcting things. Wow. In the end, the 14% core did not survive. The walk to core was a little bit too late. So in the end, it was Inting for Globes who won. Silly me. See if I can't ping the right team for the interview. All right. So, everyone... King Andrew saying that they feel bad if I've already asked for the interview. I did ask the wrong team for the interview because I was so confident that the team that I was looking at had won the video game. Just goes to show that if you commit too heavily to a push, I can't say I blame them, but it looks like we will be joined for an interview here. GG, well played. How are you feeling after that nail biter game 3? Holy cow.
Hello, hello. Okay.
Hello, hello.
I might be being weird. That was very, very stressful over everything.
Yeah, that was. I got it wrong. I was watching Potential Scrim Thursday hit your core, and I just assumed, like, I was so caught up in it that I thought that you guys had lost.
I was ready to see the defeat screen after the core siege, but Webweavers came in.
Came in clutch. It was an impressive showing. I really liked Fun's Diablo in particular. There were some huge flanks in those late game engagements that made a huge difference. Ken on the Maiev, both games 1 and 2, seemed to give y'all a fair bit of trouble. Is that a hero that you think is in a good spot in the meta, or is it just a hero specialist pick in your minds?
No, Maiev is probably one of the best melee assassins in the game. Like, so much damage to carry, so much utility. She's like perfect at everything.
I have to agree. And Ken looked really strong on it. Definitely someone to look out for. Although I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, that is a substitute, an off-roster sub.
Yes, I believe it was Kilden and Ken, the two of them. I'm very, very good friends with both of them, so it's kind of just like I have to win, and so I can rub it in their face.
Oh, absolutely. It's important to be able to rub your friends' faces and things. I didn't look. Did you take note of how many stacks Kilden had at the end of that game?
Yes, I called for just an immediate turn in because I'm like, I don't know how we do into the Sylvanas like defend on core when she has like 300, almost 400 stacks.
That's insane. Yeah, I was questioning. I would have assumed Overwhelming Affliction, the percent damage it won, to deal with Diablo, but I mean, when you get 400 stacks, who needs percent damage? All right, what else can we say about the match? Towers of Doom, another solid win from y'all. It looked really threatening with the Medivh Garrosh pairing in the early going, but I think the scaling into the later game definitely served well for y'all. Shoepuff on the Hogger in particular seemed very comfortable. Was that a game where you guys felt like it was just a matter of scaling, or do you think there was a moment where you made some adjustments that turned that game in your favor?
On the towers or Inferno? Because he was
Towers.
Hugger on. Okay. On towers, it was mostly just about just scaling and just keeping an eye on where Medivh was at all times. Just knowing that like, oh, like if he's anywhere near you, just know that you can get portaled on, and if you think you're safe, you're not actually safe.
Yeah, and especially when Garrosh through a portal is one of the worst things. Besides like a Diablo through the portal, right? Like no one wants to see that.
No, not at all.
Ken and Killidan playing that combo very well. But of course not well enough to finish off the game. You guys were able to take it, and game 3. This is both of your first game 3 of the season. This is your third series that you've played, correct?
I've been playing NGS for a while now in a bunch of different teams with Bronze 6, and then this is my second season, I believe, with this team.
Gotcha.
Third season, no, or third series. That's the game, right? That's slow.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Are there any matches that you guys are looking forward to for the rest of the season as you look towards playoffs? Does anyone seem like a hurdle standing in your way, or is it smooth sailing from here?
Not too sure. I haven't really checked at the just a quick look at the website. I'm not too sure off the team names at the top of my head. I don't think so personally though, but I'm not too sure.
I mean, I kind of had you as the favorite going into the series, certainly, given that y'all took it to Game 5 in the grand finals last season against Mommy's Little Gamers, who, of course, are not competing this season. So if this is any showing for what the rest of the season looks like, Inting for Globes could be the team to beat, so watch out, friends. Before I let you get back to celebrating with the team, the floor is yours for any shout-outs you'd like to give.
I guess mostly just to Ken and Killidan. Just a lot of fun playing against them. I never get the opportunity to get into a proper game against them that's actually coordinated.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for the interview, Juan Pablo. Catch you next time.
All right, thank you. See ya.
There you have it, folks. A excellent showing for Inting for Globes. They're able to finish off the series with a nail-biting core race, which I got wrong, and chat helped point out that, in fact, Inting for Globes won and not potential Scrim Thursday. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Which segues perfectly into the shoutouts I want to give, first and foremost, to all you for tuning in. It's way more fun when we get to watch and play together, and the community support for both this channel and the league in general is what keeps it all clicking and ticking along. So thank you. Another shout out to both teams for a fantastic game, all of the NGS staff for creating the league that we enjoy and participate in, and last but not least, a huge shout out to all of the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I feature here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without their contributions. You can find links to all their work below or coming up here in a credit roll. You should check it out. It's all free Creative Commons licensed material, so if you've seen or heard anything you like, it could be a part of your next project as well. Until next time, that'll do it from me. So good luck and have fun out there. Peace and love.